of the first half?
Actually, the analysis is not very complex. Muhlenberg, power football is the name of the game. Hamburg played very well its first possession, took the lead, but since then it's been all Muhlenberg. Offensively, they've been firing off the ball, using their superior strength to just blow Hamburg away. Also, Muhlenberg has thrown the ball well, which gives a nice counterbalance to its running attack. Hamburg early on was throwing the ball very well to the flats and getting some good offensive line play. Muhlenberg started to adjust and kind of stuffed that a little bit in the second period. Hamburg has come close twice to breaking a big play with its passing game, Brady going deep and just missing guys by inches. So it'll be interesting to see. Hamburg, the third period, is going to have to establish a little bit more ball control, get back to a short passing game, try those quick openers, use their trap blocking effectively to try and negate Muhlenberg's strength up front. Muhlenberg, quite frankly, is in the driver's seat. All they have to do is keep doing what they've been doing. Hamburg is going to have to somehow stuff Muhlenberg's inside game. They're going to have to maybe move their linebackers around, get some more support from their secondary people. However, when you do that, it makes you more vulnerable to the pass, and that's why Muhlenberg has such an effective offense, because they can throw for a power team. And not all power teams throw as well. And Kurt Siders obviously has come a long way since the Mifflin game. He has a nice touch, and Matt Sugars gives them a really nice dimension at split end. I really like their offense with him there, Randy. And they still utilize him in the backfield for some key running plays. So right now, John Yoakum has everything going for him. Bill Sikorsky for Hamburg probably had a busy half trying to finagle his X's and O's around and try and get some people where they can stop Muhlenberg.
You mentioned Kurt Siders, the junior quarterback. He doesn't throw very often, but when he does put the ball up in the air, he does so effectively. Witness last week, he only threw the ball 7 times, but he completed 4 passes for 98 yards and 2 touchdowns. And it keeps other teams honest. Just the threat that your quarterback is able to throw the ball down the field, you have to play for that particular tendency. And as a result of that, it opens up your ground game even more. And we have seen Muhlenberg thoroughly dominate this first half. That after Hamburg scored the touchdown to open the scoring and led 7-0 early. And one thing that works against the Hawks, they are playing 7 players on both offense and defense. And that has a tendency to wear you down, because by the time you stop your opponent and then go on offense, it takes a little bit out of you, and vice versa. So we'll see if the lack of depth hurts Hamburg here in the second half as they trail it by 18-7.
There's no question about that, especially Muhlenberg being bigger and stronger across the line than Hamburg. It really does put the Hawks in a tough spot.
Ken Kime, the left-footed kicker for Muhlenberg, will boot it away to start the second half. And we are underway. 18-7, Muhlenberg leading it. Muhlenberg quickly getting down to stop Stacy Hoke as he is knocked to the earth at about the 28-yard line.
Stacy Hoke, an interesting story. He is a quarterback, but Brady's been the quarterback for 3 years, except for some injuries a couple years ago when Hoke got an opportunity to play. Brady has basically been the man. So Hoke has diversified himself. He returns kicks. He does some receiving, and he just wants to play. And it's nice to see a kid get an opportunity like that.
He's a junior, though. He'll be the quarterback next season. Trying to get some yardage to the outside is Jim Gerner, but the Muhlenberg defensive front there to meet him after a short gain.
Gerner had a fast start tonight, some big plays, including a touchdown run. For Hamburg to get some semblance of an offense now, I think they're going to need to rely on Werner and Weaver and Seaback. They have the guys. It's just a matter of being patient, getting back in this game. I think they're going to need to regain the offensive line execution they had early in this game. Do some trap blocking and get some of those Muhlenberg guys with some angles.
Now, one thing that would help their cause immensely is if they took the second half kickoff and moved in for a touchdown. That would put them within striking distance.
They need to do something, a catalyst, to regain the momentum they showed early on.
2nd down and 8. Play action by Brady. He's got a man over the middle. That's Eric Syvac. Syvak still on his feet and finally knocked out of bounds, but not before he gets into Muhlenberg territory, knocked out at about the 45-yard line.
That could be the spark that they needed. An excellent pass by Brady. Syvak really did a nice job. He curled across in the middle of the zone on a hook pattern, and then utilizing the running ability we talked about in the first half, turned it upfield, a huge gain, and Hamburg is now Muhlenberg territory at the 46.
Once again, Brady throwing. This time it is intended for Syvak, and it's incomplete.
Syvak has essentially been their go-to guy in the passing game. Brady looks for him a lot. Unfortunately for Hamburg, Matt Sugars is usually the guy who's shadowing Syvak around, especially when they're throwing to the left side. And Sugars was right there, and Brady's pass was just a little errant. But Hamburg looks like they're willing to throw, and when you're down 18-7 and you're having trouble matching up with a bigger, stronger team, passing is probably the best route to go.
This time they keep the ball on the ground, but not much doing. A pickup of perhaps 2 yards at most to the 43-yard line. The ball carrier, Shane Weaver, the junior.
Although that particular play did not evidence it, if you can get your short passing game working, that will open up your running game. A lot of times you say, well, you have to set up the pass with the run, but it works the other way around, too. And if they can get Muhlenberg a little conscious looking for the passing game, that could enable those quick openers to Weaver and Gerner and Syvak.
Well, a passing situation here. Brady under pressure, gets it away, completes it down close to the first down.
Brady's pass complete
see
to
where
Weaver.
they spot the ball. Weaver, the man who caught the ball. And we'll see if Hamburg gets a generous spot. It'll be very close. Looks like it'll be about a foot short.
From the Muhlenberg 36-yard line.
Less than a yard.
I think they're going to need a generous spot, as you pointed out, and they didn't get it. One of the things they did last year so well was throw to Tracy Semmel, who was a really outstanding receiver and Brady's go-to guy. Syvak, this year, the back, they're going more to their backs instead of their wideouts this year.
I'm surprised they have not tried to get the ball to the tight end, Jason Walters, more. This is 4th down and 1, and movement in the line. And Hamburg thinks they may have drawn Muhlenberg off sides. If that's the case, it'll be a first down without running a play. And in fact, that is what it is. The ball will be moved to the 31-yard line. Instead of 4th down and a crucial foot to pick up, the offsides penalty gives Hamburg a first down, and indeed they are, Mike, on the move.
This is exactly what they needed to going into the second half, to get something going, to get a little bit momentum back, and so far it has to be encouraging for Bill Sikorsky and his staff.
Brady lofts the ball out, but over the wrong shoulder, intended that time for Jim Gerner. Gerner looked one way, then the other way, and the ball was overthrown.
It's a little difficult when you have to change shoulders like he did, look over the opposite shoulder. You lose sight of the ball a little bit, especially in a night game, and it was just a tough situation for Hamburg because they still have a good opportunity here, but you don't want to find yourself in a 2nd and 10 situation. Be interesting if they go with a little bit of a draw here instead of throwing, just to keep Muhlenberg off balance.
Brady wants to throw, going for it all, and it's incomplete. Down around the 5-yard line. It was intended for Weaver.
3rd down and 10.
There was good coverage on that play. Ideally, you like your receiver to get that little burst, that little explosion where you can separate your guy, separate from the defender, but it never happened on that play, and there really was no chance for Brady to make that completion. So now it's 3rd and 10, and now what do? They've been effective in the flat. They've also threw some nice hooks or curls down the middle. So we'll see what they do here. They've been going to Syvak most of the time. He might be the go-to guy on this particular play.
You saw a shot of the cheerleaders who were trying to keep themselves warm, something unheard of about a week ago. This ball out there, is it caught? I believe it is, down at the 12-yard line. And what a grab made by Syvak.
That was an outstanding catch by Eric Syvak. He caught it over his shoulder. It's almost like a center fielder going deep, trying to catch a long drive. But this time you have guys running into you instead of the wall. And Joel Brady, we talked about his passing touch, as we're going to get a chance to see this again.
He has a man draped all over him here.
Look at this throw. It is right there, and he makes the catch, and impact, but still it is like running into a wall, but he makes a great catch. Obviously a very talented athlete.
Brady has to run for his life this time. Fires and complete to Weaver. He's inside the 5-yard line. But Brady did a Houdini act just to avoid the rush that time as he got outside and then delivered a perfect strike to Shane Weaver, and Hamburg is on the doorstep.
This has been a watershed drive for Hamburg. Joel Brady's doing a lot of nice things. He's mixing it up. He's throwing to different receivers. They're using different routes. Right now they have Muhlenberg off balance. Brady showing a lot of mobility. He moves well back there, and he has that nice touch. And they really love to throw to their backs who can really make something happen in open spaces.
First and goal. The ball carrier Weaver, and he's got a touchdown.
Weaver on the carry.
So with 8:12 left to play in the third quarter, Hamburg has cut the deficit now to 18-13. And what an emotional shot in the arm for the Hamburg Hawks.
Well, they've been carrying a lot of emotion with them a long time, and as we see another look at the touchdown, we talked about how the short passing game can open up the running game because you get passing conscious, and it allows your running game to flourish.
And Eddie Heck gets the extra point. That was almost like a soccer kick. And it's now 18-14 Muhlenberg, and suddenly the Hawks back in it. And interestingly enough, Mike, that drive almost a carbon copy of the one early in the first quarter. The game started, Hamburg got the ball after holding Muhlenberg. They went right down and scored. And now at the start of the second half, they take the opening kickoff and march it right down.
I think a big key was they went back to the short passing game, which was very effective in the flats. They got some big plays. They used their backs to turn short passes into bigger gains. Maybe they got a little too long ball conscious there for a while. They just missed a couple, and that could be tempting to go to it again. And as we mentioned before, it does open up the running game a little bit. So Hamburg got exactly what it needed. It needed to get the ball and score, and did exactly that. And with their extra point advantage, they're only down 4 points, so a touchdown puts them ahead.
Eddie Heck, who made the extra point a moment ago, set the kick off. And the ball will be taken there by Fegley. Fegley gets to the outside, still on his feet, and finally wrestled to the earth, getting out just over the 30-yard line. And with 8 minutes and 2 seconds left in the third quarter, Muhlenberg will go on offense for the first time in the second half.
Now what Muhlenberg has to do, Randy, is pretend none of that happened. Just maintain its attack, its game plan, go out and just run the ball, keep the power game going, and supplement it with some passing by Kurt Siders, and just pretend this last drive didn't happen.
Well, they keep the ball on the ground, something they did effectively in the first half. Alan Murray, the ball carrier.
Murray on the carry, knocked out of bounds.
He's knocked out of bounds, so 7:42 left to play third quarter, and suddenly we've got a real close game on our hands.
This game had the potential of becoming one-sided. It looked that way in the latter stages of the second period. But Hamburg, as we pointed out, has an experienced offense, and experience has a lot to do with how a team reacts to adversity, and Hamburg's reaction obviously a very positive one so far.
First down play picked up 4. They keep it on the ground and a couple of yards up the gut. Ball carrier Matt Sugars, who has been used almost everywhere.
This is a guy that takes a lot of snaps in both sides of the ball, and now he's all over the place offensively. This guy obviously is going to deserve a shower after the game.
Third down and 3 now, and this is a big play for the Hamburg defense. If they can stuff this third down play and make Muhlenberg punt, they could get the ball back.
And it keeps the momentum on Hamburg's side.
And Murray trying to get to the outside. I don't believe he got to the first down marker. Did he fumble the ball? Let's see.
A lot of finger pointing down there, either indicating they held him or a fumble.
I think they indicated that they held him. So you see where they have to get. They're about 2 yards shy. Looking at the far marker, it's fourth down, and Muhlenberg will have to punt. And now Hamburg a decided underdog in this game has a chance to get the ball back and maybe take the lead.
Exactly right. A very crucial defensive series for Hamburg.
And there's a bad snap, and Hamburg is going to get an unbelievable break. Mike Rohrback almost fielded that ball like a shortstop. He had it momentarily, then let it get away. And finally, he decided to take off, not thinking he could get the kick away without having it blocked. And Hamburg wrestles him down, and now, at the 32-yard line in Muhlenberg territory, Hamburg has the ball. And here you see the problem that Rohrback had.
He has it, and he just drops it. And a crucial special teams breakdown. He didn't even look upfield to see whether he had an opportunity to punt it, and decided he'd better take the safe route and not risk giving up a touchdown.
Back live, Eric Sivak tries to hit the left side and gets maybe 2 yards on the play. Sivak, who has been used primarily as the heavy hitter out of the backfield tonight for Hamburg, getting 2. It's 2nd down and 8. Midway through the 3rd period, and Hamburg with a chance now to take the lead. Sivak again. He's got room, and suddenly the hole closed down quickly. Picks up about 5 yards on the play.
But before it closed down, he showed a good explosion through the line. A very nice play by Eric Sivak. A huge opportunity, obviously, for Hamburg. Bill Sikorsky must be pinching himself on the sideline. This half has gone perfectly for Hamburg so far. If they can score here, that completely negates the special teams breakdown on the punt snap they had in the first half, and it puts them in the lead.
Brady wants to throw, fires out. It's complete, but shy of the first down by probably about 2 yards. Over there making the catch was Sivak. So Sivak used on the ground, Sivak used through the air. There's another guy who's going to be tired by the end of this long evening.
Eric Sivak and Matt Sugars, obviously. Now, 4th and 3. Could be the play of the game so far. We've had a lot of scoring, but Hamburg needs to capitalize on this opportunity. They cannot allow this to slip through its fingers. I think we're going to see a short pass in the flat. We've seen plenty of it.
Sivak, by the way, is in the slot this time. Brady being forced out of the pocket. It's intercepted. Murray on the interception. So they do not pick up the first down. The ball would have gone over anyway. I think I had said Murray, Kurt Siders with the interception. So here's a quarterback playing a little defensive halfback and doing the job.
Well, they did that a lot with Matt Malinowski the last couple of years because he was such an outstanding defensive back. And he reads the play very well. Probably the intuition of a quarterback enables him to read pass routes better than maybe your normal defensive back. Siders is right there, breaks on the ball, beats the receiver to it. A huge turnover. Muhlenberg in a must situation, Hamburg in a must situation, and that was a pivotal play because that was an excellent opportunity for Hamburg. Everything had been going right for 7 minutes in this period for Hamburg, but a big interception by Muhlenberg. The momentum is now shifted to the Laureldale side of the field.
1st and 10 from the 28-yard line, and the Mules keep it on the ground.
Rio on the carry.
Rio with a gain of about 3. It'll be 2nd down and 7. Still for the Hamburg Hawks, they have to be happy the way this second half has turned out, and with another defensive stand here, they could get the ball back in fairly good field position.
They have to be fired up. They have to get good run support from their inside backers here. They have to stop this inside power game. They stole very much in this ball game, especially if they can stop Muhlenberg on this possession.
Siders on the run, and he is dragged down. He was hit hard.
I think there was a face mask, though.
Yeah, usually you don't go down unless that happens. I mean, his head literally, that was a little bit dangerous. And there is the face mask indication against Hamburg, and Siders a little bit shaken up.
Well, that is a very dangerous play, which is why face mask penalties are 15 yards, because the whiplash effect can really take its toll on a guy's neck. You're very vulnerable in that situation. And
that was almost like a cartoon where the body keeps going and the head gets hit.
15-yard penalty will give the Mules first down.
And boy, not only a dangerous play, but a play that is very costly to Hamburg, as the ball will be moved up 15 yards, and Looks like it'll be moved just shy of the 50-yard line at the Muhlenberg 49.
Exactly right. Now Muhlenberg has excellent field position.
The ball carrier is Rio.
Rio with the carry.
And that's exactly what Muhlenberg was doing most of the first half, Randy. A simple dive play up the middle. Rio, very big, powerful guy, 6 foot, 200 pounds. Gets that little initial burst through the seam of the hole, and just he's 5 yards in the secondary. And it's a little difficult to bring a guy down, although Rio seems to have gotten the worst of that particular collision as he runs off the field limping somewhat.
Play picked up 7 yards. Can you imagine if Rio ever made it to pro football with Chris Berman on ESPN? Robert, blame it on Rio.
Okay, Chris.
almost too much to bear. Siders to the air, and he's got a completion. And now the Muhlenberg team beginning to move.
Mike
Rohrback, by the way, makes the catch.
You know, we've talked a lot about Matt Sugars, but Mike Rohrback is an excellent wingback. He gives them a good passing dimension. And Siders, again, a nice counterpoint to that running game. It's they keep hitting him up in the middle with that sledgehammer, then suddenly they pop a little pass in there, and they picked up 10, 15 yards. So Muhlenberg's offense, not an easy one to defend, and Muhlenberg obviously having trouble with it tonight.
Last year, Muhlenberg with Mike Malinowski, who set an all-time record for passing yardage. And Siders, the ball loose on the ground, and let's see, they say incomplete. No, they say it's a fumble. The ball was completed to number 86, Bruce Strupp, and then he fumbled the ball.
We're going to get a replay of this in slow motion to see how long he had possession. It looked to me as if it should be a fumble. He had it, in my estimation, long enough for it to be a complete pass.
He had already turned up the field, it appeared, and then he lost control of the ball. And what a break for Hamburg, as Muhlenberg's offense was driving.
It's a game of momentum and shifts and turnovers, and we've had special team breakdowns and we've had turnovers, and this has made this game very interesting.
With the ball is Eric Sivak, the all-purpose man, and he gets knocked down, gets a couple of yards. Let's take a look at that last play, and you determine if this is a fumble or if it's an incomplete pass.
Okay, the receiver is Bruce Strupp, number 86 on the right side of your screen as we take a look at it again. Siders rolling out, hits him. He has the ball. One step.
Oh, yeah. Well, I don't know.
I don't know either. We have to get a reverse angle on that. Can the truck get that for us?
We're back live. Sivak again, the ball carrier.
I would like to see another angle on that because I was convinced he had made the reception. Now I'm not so sure. There's an element of doubt there, and
we can't even begin to tell you at home what they're saying in the truck to Mike, but needless to say, an interesting call because it appeared as if as he turned he lost the football, but again, a play that could have been called either way.
Yes, it is, and you know the officials have an instant to react and make the call. It's kind of like a bang-bang play, and it was close enough where it could have went either way.
3rd down and 3, and they keep it on the ground as making a couple of yards is Shane Weaver, but he does not have the first down. He got a yard at most, and it'll be 4th down and 2.
Gets up a little slowly, too. There's been some good crisp hitting on both sides of the ball tonight, and both teams, they're coming off big victories. They want their season to really maintain and stay on a positive note, and a big game, as we pointed out, for both teams, and so the hitting has been intense. Hamburg, fortunately for them, gets a turnover, but they're going to have to punt now.
If you're just joining us, we're in the final 20 seconds of the 3rd period. Muhlenberg ahead 18-14. Another pretty good punt and a nice catch made by Jeff Crick, and he is knocked down. Penalty flags go down. What a great play made by number 20, Randy Lesser, a senior, who got down and made a big special teams hit.
A big hit. Crick actually did a very nice job making that catch. We're hoping to get a replay. I'm not really sure what the infraction was there, Randy. I would really like to see it again. We're going to take a look.
Yeah, normally it's going to be a clip, and let's see if we can spot the infraction. There.
No, it was not
there's
there.
The clip
yes,
right
it
here.
is. Absolutely. We're freezing it, and right from behind, yeah. Excellent. We caught the culprit right there in mid-motion. Good work by our camera guys there.
Penalty.
We don't need an opposite angle on that one. We got it.
First and 10 for the Mules.
So
At their
the
own
good hit made,
15-yard line.
and then a 15-yard mark-off for the clip. And that will be the final play of the third period. As time has expired, Hamburg has Muhlenberg in the hole. We've got 1 quarter to go. Mike and I will return to Laureldale with the score at the end of 3. Muhlenberg 18 and Hamburg 14.
Bob White, quality foods for over 50 years. Located at Walnut and Juliana Streets in West Reading, invites you to cater yourself with these delicacies from their cash and carry store.
Choose from the widest range of marinated steaks available. A unique marinating process assures a deep, rich taste and mouth-watering quality. Carefully selected, incredibly tender USDA choice.
That's Bob White, quality foods cash and carry store. Restaurant quality foods at wholesale prices. Walnut and Juliana Streets in West Reading.
When you're faced with a decision to buy another car and you want a quick review of the best options around, the video ad channel is the place to start. For an instant update on the newest buys, just tune in, then choose your style. Classic or classy. Country or cool. If you're looking for convenience, economy, performance, or style, then tune in to the video ad channel on the odd hours on Berks Cable Channel 5.
The start of the fourth quarter, 18-14, Muhlenberg over Hamburg. The Mules deep in their own territory, and they keep the ball on the ground. You know, we talked about Hamburg before and the reliance on Malinowski the last several years. Malinowski throwing for almost 3,700 yards in his storied career with the Mules. I think I said Hamburg, with Muhlenberg. Got to keep our Bergs differentiated. And
One has a U, one has an E.
he also threw for 40 touchdowns, and it's awfully hard to replace that. And Kirk Sider's a very different kind of a quarterback, but he's done an outstanding job.
He sure has. He throws the ball very well, and he moves well.
Knocked down after a gain for the Muhlenberg Mules is Mel Fegley. Fegley, who was their leading ball carrier coming into this game. We haven't really seen his number called that much tonight.
No, he has not been the featured back tonight, but he, again, we pointed out, they don't really have a feature back. They can use so many people, much like Hamburg, and they spread the ball around, and consequently, it's very difficult to focus on one guy. It makes it more difficult for the defenses.
First and 10 from the 32-yard line, and again, Rio on the carry, and he, with a second burst,
He is
able to pick up 9, very close to a first down.
He is a tough guy, Randy. You know, we saw him walk off the field a little gingerly a few minutes ago after a tough hit, but he's back there putting his head down, and he's a perfect fullback in a system like this where you need a guy. Not only is he a tough runner, but in the power I, that fullback has to be a tough lead blocker, and that's exactly what he is. The lead block in the power I is the crucial block in many plays.
Looking for the first down and coming very close that time. The ball carrier, number 41, is Sugars.
Sugars on the carry.
You know, if you are Muhlenberg, not only would you like to go down and score a touchdown, but you would also like to take 5 or 6 minutes off the clock.
Oh, absolutely. And we saw the classic example of ball control last week in the Pottsville-Reading game, where Pottsville went 18 plays, ate up 10 minutes off the clock, and scored the finishing touchdown. And you can't design it or draw it any better than that. And I'm sure John Yoakum would love for Muhlenberg to do just that.
Now, why do you suppose they measured there? That ball was about 1.5 feet past the first down marker. And, well,
maybe they were practicing.
You have to have one measurement per game. I think it's in the rules.
Was there a TV timeout? We didn't go to a break. I don't know.
Well, I don't know. I would think the referees might have spotted that, but not so. First down, nevertheless, and Muhlenberg on the roll. And here is Murray, and he's got another first down as he bolts into Hamburg territory to the 47-yard line. And right now you're seeing Muhlenberg beginning to wear the Hamburg front down, and we allude to that early in the game, that with all the guys playing both ways, that Hamburg was susceptible to being worn down. That's what may be happening here.
And Alan Murray, we also talked about his size. You know, he looks a little smaller with that number, but he is 5'11", 185, and he showed evidence that he's a punishing runner on that particular play.
First and 10 from the 47-yard line. First man through gets the football, and to the 45, a pickup of 2.
Rio carries for the Mules.
Rio, the ball carrier. There you see him, number 32.
Second down and 8.
Now, we mentioned Eric Bolts, but also for Muhlenberg, Scott Yeto, who's 5'11", 220, a very tough tackle on the other side of the ball. So Muhlenberg right now it's very contagious. You get aggressive, you start beating your man consistently up front, and you just go out and you expect to beat your man, and you do.
A little bit of a counter play that time as Muhlenberg's Mike Rohrbach carrying the football.
We don't see Muhlenberg counter very often, but when they do, because of the element of surprise, it can be a very effective play. But they're going to be a little bit of a tough spot here, about 3rd and 4, Randy. Although they've been so dominant up front, I suspect that we'll probably see maybe an off-tackle play with Murray.
Muhlenberg at the Hamburg 40-yard line. They lead the game 18-14, 8:45 left to play. They keep the ball on the ground, and Rio just hammering people as he gets to the 35, and he's got another first down for Muhlenberg.
If you love power football, it's fun to watch him. He just gets the ball, and it's just muscle. Put your head down and bang some bodies and fall forward. And he's doing it consistently. He's getting a lot of help from his offensive linemen in the trenches, but he is a classic lead blocker. You saw a lot of that last year with Wilson with Jeff Stump, and Rio reminds me a lot of Stump.
Now they're not only killing the clock, but they are really psychologically defeating Hamburg. There's a sweep, and again, another good pickup. Ball carrier that time is Fegley, so one man not doing it here. It's a number of people. We've seen Rohrbach, we've seen Rio, that time Fegley.
Yeah, and that's, again, we talked about the Muhlenberg offense where it gives you different looks, and you have to maintain your position on so many different things, the perimeter, the inside game, obviously, and they're so run-conscious up the middle that when you put Murray on the flank, and with his speed, he's going to turn upfield, and that's exactly what he did.
Play picked up 7, second down and 3. The ball carrier Sugars, he's got another Mules first down. Now right now, this game beginning to slip away from Hamburg. They have to think sooner or later about stopping Muhlenberg, getting the ball back. If Muhlenberg scores here, it would be awfully tough.
There's no question about that, Randy. Hamburg has played a very inspired game. I've been impressed with them. Whether they win or lose, as we pointed out, they seem to be for real. Obviously, a very crucial situation for them now. They have to stop Muhlenberg.
First and 10 from the 19. Rio with the football, and he's finally going to be dragged down on the tackle that time for Hamburg. Number 33, one of their two-way performers, Jim Gerner, as he roped down Rio. There you see
Yeah,
Rio.
look at him. He looks like a fullback, doesn't he? He has that look of intensity. He looks rock-ribbed, and he has just that look of a warrior about him, which is what I think gives football that kind of special element, that special flavor. And
now, you know that when you're keeping the ball on the ground and you're picking up 7, 8, 9 yards on a first down play, that you're going to be awfully hard-pressed to stop them. And that play picked up 8 yards, almost 9. It'll be second down and a long yard for another Mules first down. Ball at the 10-yard line. And straight ahead is Sugars.
Muhlenberg is just really firing out on the ball now. They are just knocking people backwards, and their backs are just slicing through those holes. Everything is going for them. They're dictating the tempo now. They are really, and Hamburg is doing a smart thing right now, Randy. They're calling timeout. They want to just regroup a little bit as we see Muhlenberg's stands there.
Even the band is into it right now. There's just a certain body language as you watch the game, as the Muhlenberg kids just know what they're doing, and there's a tremendous amount of confidence. A drive like this where you just stuff the ball down the other team's throat certainly gives you that confidence. There's nothing more than for linemen than to get that feeling that you're knocking people 5 and 6 yards off the ball. And
oh, yes.
there you see Muhlenberg. It's a lot different than pass blocking where you are basically in more of a passive position.
Here you can attack people, and it's exactly what they're doing. We see John Yoakum talking to his team. Number 64 is Tony Leone. We've talked about their tackles, Eric Bolts and Scott Yeto. Tony Leone is an excellent guard for Muhlenberg, and one of the reasons why the Mules have been so successful running the ball this season. As we said, even in their opening game, which they lost, they were very impressive running the football.
Now, right now, it's do or die time for the Hamburg defense. They keep the ball on the ground. Sugar's looking for the end zone and finally gets knocked down. He's inside the 5-yard line, and again, Hamburg, who has not scored. In fact, we've only had one score in the second half. Hamburg took the opening kickoff and marched down for a touchdown. That made it 18-14.
You know, another guy we should talk about, Randy, who's played very well up front for Muhlenberg is their center, Matt Pizzo. Again, we mentioned that he is going up against Ed Amadero, probably the premier nose guard in the county. So Matt Pizzo also having a very big game up front for Muhlenberg.
Siders keeps the football. He has a touchdown. And that may do it. 6:03 left to play. Siders with his second touchdown of the night.
Right up the middle again, the explosion off the ball. And we're going to hopefully get a look at this again as Kurt Siders perhaps has put the finishing touches on this game. Here we have it, Randy. Siders, and look at that size of that hole. All he really had to do was fall forward into the end zone, and Muhlenberg has seized control of this game. As it's 24-14, and one of the few things that Muhlenberg has not done consistently well tonight, Randy, is their extra point conversions. They missed the first one on replacement. They've been going for 2 points.
Yeah, they haven't done it well. They haven't made one yet.
And so it'd be interesting to see if they go for 1 or 2 here.
One of the things about failing to convert,
they're going to go for 1.
They'll give it a shot. One of the things about failing to convert on the conversions is it keeps Hamburg in the game. A field goal and a touchdown could do it. And keep in mind, Hamburg has a pretty good kicker in Eddie Heck.
Yeah, very good point.
Here's the extra point attempt by number 42, Bruce Folk. And the kick is good, but flags down all over the place. And I think the flags were actually thrown right after the snap.
Yes.
So the play is dead regardless. And we'll see what the infraction is here.
Yeah, we don't want to be premature, Randy. We talked about perhaps that put the finishing touches on the game. But, you know, in fact, there are 6 minutes left in this game. Hamburg has played very inspired football offensively and defensively. And Muhlenberg's problems with extra points continues. It was illegal procedure on them, and they're going to have to re-kick it or rethink it, one or the other.
I think that's a good point that you made. We don't want to bury Hamburg prematurely. After all, after getting the initial touchdown in the game, they had to withstand 3 TDs in a row by Muhlenberg and came back smartly. So there's not a whole lot of quitting these kids from Hamburg, and this game not over just yet.
No. See how they do an extra point?
No good.
I think they're going to be practicing their extra point a little bit on Monday.
Nevertheless, Muhlenberg has moved out to a 10-point lead. 6:03 left to play here in the ball game, and Muhlenberg leading Hamburg 24-14.
And as you pointed out, a field goal and a touchdown with a 2-point conversion, and Hamburg wins. So there's plenty of time. Hamburg has really shown, I think, a lot of heart. Coming back, they had a bad second period. Some teams may have kind of like cashed in their chips at halftime, but the Hawks came out, fired out. They have done very well offensively and defensively. Their offense, they have a lot of tools. Their short passing game, when it's effective with their backs in the flat, can really open up some big gains, and they can counterpunch with some good inside running by some of their backs like Jim Turner. As we pointed out earlier, they have the wing T, and they have a lot of trap blocking schemes.
Now the ball taken by one of the deep men, and look out, on the loose is Eric Sivak. He's got the ball back up to about the 35-yard line. Less than 6 minutes to go in the game, and Hamburg has their work cut out for them. Joel Brady is going to have to engineer at least 2 drives, and it's going to be a tall order against this Muhlenberg defense, which probably knows up front he has to go to the air, and that gives the defensive lineman a chance to tee off a little bit.
Yeah, it does, and that puts Joel in a tough spot, but as Bill Sikorsky said, it's a luxury having a 3-year starter quarterback, and that's exactly what he has in Joel Brady.
Well, they haven't sacked Brady all night. That time he throws a one-hopper. As the pass incomplete, it'll be 2nd and 10.
Muhlenberg had a good pass rush, and Brady trying to get rid of the ball, as you said, kind of short-hopped it. They're going to need some quick plays. I don't think they can afford to throw long because the percentage is too low. They have to establish possession, and also by doing that, they allow Muhlenberg more time for the pass rush to get to Brady.
Now there's safeties about 15 yards behind the line of scrimmage, Siders and Becker. They are throwing long, and a man is open, but it's incomplete to Eric Sivak. Siders came over there to knock him out of bounds. 3rd down and 10.
I think that kind of shows you what kind of athlete Kurt Siders is for Muhlenberg, because as John Yoakum pointed out last year with Malinowski, the only reason why he's playing defense is because he's so good. And because you usually don't want to risk your quarterback in that kind of position, especially if you're a platoon team, as Muhlenberg is. So Kurt Siders playing a very good game in the secondary for Muhlenberg tonight.
This is a big play right here. Hamburg needs to continue this drive. They'll try to get it by going up top. They throw over the middle. The ball is intercepted. Intercepted by Alan Mary. Mary's still on his feet. He's back to the 30-yard line. And now the whole complexion has changed. Muhlenberg will take over in Hamburg territory. And that may have taken all the air out of the Hamburg balloon. We'll take another look. I don't think that Brady ever saw Alan Mary.
As we see Brady going back, and obviously not, he was underneath coverage. He was trying. Look at that. You know, he really moves well, 3rd, 4th, and he's another guy who goes both ways, so obviously a very skilled player. The go-to guy on that pass was Eric Sivak, but Murray read the play well, and Brady never did see him, it appeared.
Now, Murray being used quite frequently after intercepting and making a nice run back, he carries again. And the first down play goes for nothing. No gain on the play. It'll be 2nd and 10. And now you're going to have to keep an eye on the clock. 4:48 left to play. And coming off the field there, number 77, that's Jell Mills, a senior tackle.
Hamburg's going to have to really get a lot of pursuit here. They're going to have to put a lot of bodies on the ball. Some guys going for the tackle, other guys trying to knock the ball loose. They need to force a turnover.
Now they keep the ball on the ground, and on the carry that time, number 21, Mike Rohrback on that counter play. Play picks up about 2 yards. It'll be 3rd down and 8.
Now, we've mentioned all their linemen. I would be remiss if we didn't mention Brian Schaefer, who is the other lineman for Muhlenberg up front, a junior guard, another guy with nice size, 6'1", 220. So you see why Muhlenberg's been so successful. They have the guys up front. They're big, they're strong, they move people.
Clock is running. We are under 4 minutes left to play in the ball game. 24-14 Muhlenberg. Siders with the football, and he is finally going to be wrestled out of bounds over on that far side, but he's to the 10-yard line. Hamburg looks like they're being worn down right now defensively.
There's no question about that at this juncture of the game.
1st and 10.
About the only thing that didn't work on that play for Muhlenberg is Siders knocked out of bounds. That stops the clock.
Yeah, but that's a minor point, I think, although a valid point. But they're so dominant right now, I think it's going to take almost 2 huge miracles for Hamburg to come back, and that's a lot to ask.
They keep the ball on the ground. Rio, and I want to tell you, he got hit by 3 or 4 different white-shirted tacklers.
We talked about their character of the team, the way they came back strong in the second half. Well, look at this. They're down 10 points. The game is ticking away, but they're still getting those real tough licks in defensively and making the Mules pay for every yard that they gain. Hamburg has a tradition of playing hard-nosed, tough football. Bill Sikorsky is a guy who comes down from the Anthracite area where they play tough football, and it shows on his team.
2nd down and 7 now. 3:12 left to go. Sugars with the football, and he's going to be very close to the first down. Boy, he is a punishing runner.
He's an athlete.
Sugars on the carry.
A punishing runner and an athlete, and I can't say enough about him. He must really enjoy this role because he's featured out and a running back, and I think it's done a lot for this team. I think it's also helped Kurt Siders a lot because he feels comfortable throwing to Sugars. He's in a developmental stage in his career, and this has been a very big win for Muhlenberg. They've had some moments of adversity, and they've overcome them.
3rd down and 2 now for the Mules. They keep it on the ground, and I don't think that's going to get the first down. Pick up maybe a yard at most. It'll be 4th down and about a yard. They might even decide to measure here. Let's see.
I believe they are.
One of the back officials there looking it over like a surveyor. Here come the sticks out, and we'll take a close look. And it looks like a first down. It is.
Yes, it is.
Inside the 10-yard line at the 8. 1st and goal now for the Mules. 2:23 left to play, and looks like Muhlenberg is going to raise their record to 2-2. We want to talk about adversity. What about Muhlenberg? First game of the season. They are playing Salisbury. It appears they have the game won. 6 seconds left to play. A miraculous 69-yard touchdown pass. Salisbury gets a 2-point conversion, and Muhlenberg loses. Boy, for an opener, that's got to take the wind out of your sails.
Oh, absolutely. That's a devastating loss, as John Yoakum said, but they came back. The funny thing is, I was talking to Bill Sikorsky. They scouted that game. They left to beat the traffic. They thought Muhlenberg won. They didn't realize Muhlenberg lost, so they read it in the Reading Eagle the next day.
But they did get back to Hamburg early. Sugar's the ball carrier that time, and he picks up a couple of yards. 1:43 left to play. Muhlenberg trying to put the icing on the cake. Siders already has a pair of touchdowns in this game. And he hands it to Rio, and Rio scoring a touchdown. So Rio on the board, and that will do it.
You know, in a game which has been evidenced by hard hitting by both teams, and Muhlenberg has been so tough inside running, it's kind of fitting that that drive was capped off by an inside run by Robert Rio.
His 2nd touchdown of the night.
You can't blame anything on Rio tonight, Randy.
Thanks, Mike. 1:32 left to play. Here comes that most exciting adventure, an extra point attempt, and this time it's good.
Well, practice makes perfect, I guess.
They get the extra point. So 31-14, Muhlenberg going to win this football game. A great job. Hamburg had made it close. They had got to within 18-14, and Muhlenberg with 2 fourth-quarter touchdowns, one by Siders, the other by Rio. And this one is going to be history.
You know, you talk about scores and statistics, and obviously they can be very revealing, but not all the time. And I think this is one of those games. It's 31-14. You see that score on the scoreboard. It looks rather stark and one-sided. But as we know, tonight's game has not been that. Hamburg has played very well at times, offensively and defensively. This is a game in preseason. Most people would have said, well, it'll be a lot like last year, 34-0. Well, no way. Hamburg has played an outstanding game at times. The Hawks are tough. I think they're going to have a very competitive season in the Berkshire Sea. Muhlenberg is a class team. Hamburg has been with them most of the way, if not all the way.
Short kick picked up by one of the up men and immediately knocked down just shy of the 30-yard line. That's where Hamburg will have it.
You talk about good sticks. John Easterday of Muhlenberg, number 44, had a good special teams hit there. So 1:26 left to go. Hamburg, you know, they're playing for pride now. I'm sure they'd love to get another score here and see what develops. Next week, as you pointed out earlier, we'll be seeing Collingham and Wyomissing, 2 of the other top teams in the Berkshire Sea. You know, give us a good frame of reference to see how Muhlenberg compares with those 2 teams.
2 of the teams favored to win in the conference. There's a pass thrown out, and the ball caught at the 40-yard line. Nice reception there. First Second reception of the night for Andy Mosman, who now has 8 on the year. Boy, that ball seemed to be in the air a long time. That's one of the hardest throws to make for a quarterback when you have to throw the ball across the field. And he was able to do that and got it right on the money. I've been impressed tonight by Brady's throwing of the football.
Brady is a good thrower, and a couple of those long passes, 3 of them, there's a little shot of dejection, but I don't think Hamburg has anything to be that disappointed about. They played a very tough game.
Yeah, they really have hung in very well. Little swing pass thrown out to Jim Gerner, who has his feet knocked out from under him. Gets to the 40-yard line. 23 seconds left. Probably enough time for one more play.
As I was saying, they've come close on 3 occasions to breaking off a big pass play, and just a few inches here and there. Let's talk about baseball being a game of inches and football a game of yards. Well, football can be a game of inches as well.
4 seconds left. And this will be the final play of the football game. And Brady will air it out. It's on the way. It is intercepted. And it's intercepted by Siders, his second pickoff of the night. And now let's see how far he can get. The game is going to be over when he goes down, thrown out of bounds, and that's it. Game over. Muhlenberg 31 and Hamburg 14. Muhlenberg's record goes to 2-2. The Hawks of Hamburg now 1-3. A very well-played football game and a lot of fun for us, Mike.
Yes, it was. It was a great game to watch. A lot of hard hitting, a lot of good execution, and we're going to try and grab some post-game guests. So. Check me out on the field.
We'll be back right after this. The final 31-14 Muhlenberg over Hamburg.
Reach for TV hose.
Call 1-800-526-9554 and save 26 issues, only $17.77.
RE/MAX of Reading is a proud sponsor of Burke's Cable Scholastic Sports Programming. We are committed to our community and to you. We're working long hours, but our hard work is paying off with more listings than any other realtor in the county. That's important because we know your standards are high, and with an average of 12 years of real estate experience per associate, we can offer new ideas when you're selling your home. Take a step above the crowd with RE/MAX of Reading.
Well, our third game of the year here on Burke's Cable, an exciting one. A lot of offense here tonight as Muhlenberg winning their second game of the year against 2 losses. They defeat Hamburg 31-14. Mike Zielinski down on the field with a number of happy mules. Let's go down to Mike.
Hi, this is Mike Zielinski for Burke's Cable and the Reading Eagle Times with some happy faces here. Look happy, guys, from Muhlenberg after their convincing 31-14 win over Hamburg tonight. To my left is Matt Sugars, who used to be a pretty good running back, now a pretty good split end and running back. Not completely a split end because you ran the ball well tonight. You're almost like a Keith Byers type, Matt.
Well, with Mr. Yoakum wanting to make things happen, he came around and suggested us play split end. And everything came into play tonight. Everything worked out fine. The line blocked great. Kirk threw well. Right in my hands. Can't do anything better than that.
Okay, well, thank you, Matt, and good luck to you the rest of the season. Now, to my left, Rob Rio. This was a very physical, punishing game, and Muhlenberg fired off the ball well, punishing inside power game, and this is the guy that kind of made it go. Also scored a couple touchdowns tonight, but I guess your primary job in this offense is the lead blocker in the eye.
Yeah, we run a lot of off-tackle plays for the tailback, 15s and 16s, and key jobs just to knock the first guy you see, usually in the 4-4, the tackle or the end, and once you get them out of the way, they have a big hole because the line double teams, and our line just did great tonight.
Some power eye attacks, basically the fullback does not get featured too often, but they seem to go to you a lot tonight. You're kind of your moment of glory, kind of exciting evening for you.
Yeah, we ran a lot of traps on the inside and gives, straight dives, and their defense just had a lot of gaps. Our line just blew them off.
Yes, they did. Well, congratulations and good luck to you. The next gentleman,
Al Murray. We kind of made some fun with your last name during the telecast about Arthur Murray. You're probably too young to remember him, but he was a dancing guy. But in a power scheme, you're a nice counterpoint with your outside game. It gives you a little opportunity. They're so conscious inside that you can break it off to the outside.
Yeah, I like to run outside and inside, but it's fun to, get the ball. Now that they move Sugars to, the wide receiver, I get to run a little more, and, he's running, so we're all happy now. Yeah, we're all having fun.
You weren't too unhappy then to see him get moved outside, huh?
I was happy about that.
Okay, well, congratulations and good luck to you. Okay, in any offense, obviously the quarterback is the main guy, and what impressed me about you, Kurt, is that not only did you play very well offensively, you had a couple interceptions tonight and played a very good game in the secondary. Being a quarterback, does that give you more awareness of passing routes?
Yes, it does, because when I play defense, then I know where our defense is going to be, and then I can see where their defense is going to be, and I know where to throw the ball.
Muhlenberg football the last couple of years featured a guy named Mike Malinowski. Matt works for us at the paper. As their featured quarterback, you had a lot of big shoes to fill. You've done it. You've been growing as the season progressed. You have to be happy with your progress so far.
Yeah, Mr. Yoakum's just giving me more and more chances to throw the ball as the season goes on, and I'm happy with it. As long as I get the ball to receivers, they'll catch, and then they'll do something afterwards. That's all I can ask for.
I guess the way your team runs the ball, it kind of makes the defense very conscious of the run. That kind of opens up your passing attack.
Yeah, it does, because we average like 200 yards a game on the ground, and then the defense is kind of key on that, and then gives me our receivers wide open.
Speaking of receivers, how much has it helped with Matt moving to split end?
It helps a lot, because he's a guy that I know will catch the ball and he'll do something with it afterward. And he's the kind of guy that can take it all the way if he gets the chance.
We saw the little evidence of that tonight where Matt broke off some nice runs after catches. Okay, congratulations, guys. We're going to have to wrap it up, and good luck to you the rest of the season. And now we're going to throw it back to Randy.
Thanks, Mike. Kurt Sider is our most valuable player in this evening's game. He scored on a pair of short runs, directed the Muhlenberg offense, and also on defense, he picked off a couple of passes. Robert Rio also scored on 2 short touchdowns. The Muhlenberg Mules, with their record now at 2-2, they defeat Hamburg by a score of 31-14. We're going to be back here next week in the Reading area. We'll be taking a look at Wyomissing as they tangle with Holy Name, a very key game between a couple of contenders in the Berks IC. Berks Cable will be there to cover all the action as Holy Name tangles with Wyomissing, and we hope you were with us on that game. That'll wrap it up. The Muhlenberg Mules with a big victory here at home as they hold off the Hamburg Hawks. The final score, Muhlenberg 31, Hamburg 14. For Mike Zielinski, I'm Randy Stevens saying goodnight from Laureldale as the Mules win it in a good one.
Ladies and gentlemen, start your engines. It's the 2nd annual Reading Mini Grand Prix. Sunday, September 29th is the date. Downtown Reading is the place. So show your civic pride and join the thousands of others who'll be cheering on their favorite cars. Admission is absolutely free. It's an action-packed day that's fun for the entire family. Don't be left out of the winner's circle. We'll see you at the 2nd annual Reading Mini Grand Prix, Sunday, September 29th.